Good Thursday afternoon. My name is Jerry Miller. Welcome to the I Love CVille show. Thank you kindly for joining us. We are live in Charlottesville. We're live in the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille network. Another interesting day. Markets showing positive sign, green on the board. I'm looking at it now. The Fed announces another relief package that really stimulated the futures market and really got the market going green. Federal Reserve reveals in the details of a new $2.3 trillion program to help small business owners and entrepreneurs and Americans across the country. The markets respond. Confidence is inching higher. We're seeing some positivity in New Jersey and New York with the metrics and the numbers. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself here. I was watching Bill Gates this morning on CNBC, and Bill Gates this morning was saying, I think we're going to have an economy reopen again in May. And, you know, makes me positive. It makes me positive. Today's show, a good one. Paul Cooper, our guest. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Retro Hospitality. He's also a key member of the Virginia Restaurant, Lodging, and Travel Association. He's the chapter chairman in the Shenandoah Valley of the Virginia Restaurant, Lodging, and Travel Association. He's done a lot in hotels. Most notably and most recently, the Quirk Hotel in Charlottesville. The Quirk Hotel in Charlottesville is 2.0. 1.0 was in Richmond. He's a big time guy in hotels in the Mid-Atlantic and in Virginia. We're going to welcome him to the program in roughly 2 minutes. Robert Radifera in the 1 o'clock hour. Radifera is an evangelist of the community, just one of the most likable guys you'll ever meet. Robert Radifera was my photographer, our photographer, I should say, with my wife and I at our wedding, and he just made the experience a joy. I mean, I just felt like our photographer was like a friend of ours for years. That's how much talented and how authentic and genuine and how amazing Robert is as not only a photographer, but as a person. He's going to join us in the 1 o'clock hour to spotlight a little front porch portrait session that he has going on that I think is positive. I'm going to talk some small business with Robert, but I'm going to talk Charlottesville and positivity on the I Love CVille show. We are an advertising agency at I Love CVille and VMV Brands, 113 clients from New Providence, New Jersey, where we have a satellite office, to Asheville, North Carolina. Most of them here in Charlottesville in the Commonwealth. And I'm on the phone with them. I'm meeting with them via Zoom and Skype, and people are still scared. And the reason we're scared, and me included, and all of us as Americans and Charlottesvillians and Central Virginians and people from Virginia, okay, why we're scared as human beings is because this is unknown and uncertain. It would be so much easier as if at the end of this COVID-19 tunnel, we had a day and a time of closure and a finish line, a marathon that we're in the midst of, and we don't mind persevering and showing character and grit and guts and determination and tenacity. I have that in spades, and I know you do too. And I know you do too. But what I'd really like, and what we all like, and what makes it so damn hard is the uncertainty of when is this going to be done? When is it going to be done? I found some relief in watching a guy like Bill Gates on CNBC this morning in the 8:30, 8:40 time range this morning. I had relief at seeing Bill Gates saying this could potentially be behind us in May. And he's not saying that it's just going to go back to business as usual. He's saying we're going to still have to be mindful of social distancing, our health, washing hands, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But May, I have some relief, and I started feeling good when I hear a guy, a titan, a generational type of mind, like a once in a 20 lifetime type of guy, say maybe May. Okay, I'm going to go, Judah Wickhauer is our director. I'm going to go to the Skype Dominion Custom Homes hotline and welcome Paul Cooper to the show. We're Skyping him now. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Retro Hospitality. Big-time brands, Paul Cooper and his firm have touched and launched and run and managed brands like the Clifton, brands like the Quirk Hotel 1.0 and 2.0. Paul, you are live on the I Love CVille network for 12 Facebook pages. Thank you for joining us. How are you holding up, my friend, in this COVID-19 landscape?
Thanks, Jerry. Great to join you. I'm blessed. I'm healthy. The family's healthy. Our team, our management team, all healthy employees. God bless, are doing well. And we're all just trying to navigate this crazy landscape and figure it out and support each other.
He's kind enough to join us, guys. Paul Cooper, CEO, Retro Hospitality. All right, let's talk. Let's talk you first. What are you about? You have travel and tourism and restaurants and local and community and family and positivity in your blood. It's what you do for a living. What are you all about? And then let's get to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, hospitality. I mean, it's what I started doing. Got into it by default. Was attending Old Dominion University down in Norfolk, lived in Virginia Beach, lived with my parents, commuted to school, didn't have enough money, so had to get a job, worked as a bellman, started out in the hotel industry in 1991. And so since that point in time, have gradually moved around and added to my skill set. And about 9 years ago, after stints on development side, investing in hotel projects, on the operations side, on the financial side, started a company called Retro Hospitality, and we're based in Richmond, Virginia. And we specialize in the upscale boutique space, both for hotels and restaurants. Like you had mentioned, we've touched a lot of different properties right now, where we are involved with asset managing the Quirk in Richmond, invested and opened and asset managed the Charlottesville Quirk. And yeah, we were involved with the Clifton. Super excited about the dairy market. We're going to be overseeing and operating a dairy market there on Preston. Got a little property in Stanton called the Blackburn Inn, and another one called the Black Horse Inn up in Warrenton. So we get involved with a lot of great, cool independent boutique projects, a lot of great owners, and just fortunate to be able to work with some really talented folks.
Paul Cooper, our guest, guys. I see 5 different states watching the show now. The development team, Chris Henry's development team behind Dairy Market, watching the program as we speak. I'm just going to throw this question to you. Hotel space, what is this, April 7th, April 9th? 2020. I mean, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here. I just want to hear it from someone who knows it better than everybody else. Where are we at now?
So where we're at from our company's perspective is we've worked really diligently to make sure that our employees are communicated and taken care of. We're trying to let them know everything that we're hearing out there in the marketplace as it relates to anything that's available for them to tap into funds to get us through this tough time. We're working with our owners extremely hard to get everything submitted for the payroll protection plan, so we can get employees back to work as quickly as we possibly can. So, the last, I would say, 3 weeks have just been an emotional roller coaster. It started with around March 12th, March 15th, where we made the decision to suspend operations at some of the hotels, especially the hotels that have a very large food and beverage component, a very large event and banquet space because of the inability to gather with more than 10 people. So we went through an emotional roller coaster. It was just really, really tough to sit there and make decisions and know that we're impacting so many lives. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of employees and their family and extended family and people that you've almost grown up with over the past 5 years, 6, 7 years, and you love them and you just try and help them out. So it's been emotional, but we're leading. We made the decision early on that we're going to let those folks, we're going to furlough the folks, let them go out, file for unemployment. We would pay for their benefits because God knows if anyone needs health benefits nowadays, it's our employees and hospitality workers around the country. So, we furloughed folks, but so now we're getting, I guess the dust is settling a little bit, and now we're able to go back and revisit, what it is that we can do for our employees and let them know that we're here for them. We continue to work on some great projects, and so there's development activity still happening, and we keep plugging along.
Paul Cooper, our guest. Paul, walk us through the flip book of mindset with the Quirk Hotel in Charlottesville, Virginia. I mean, you guys have a kick-ass opening. You have an incredible brand. You do everything perfectly right. The community is so pumped for you to open. It goes well. The press is there. It embodies all the success and execution of the Quirk brand itself, your grand opening and your launch. And then this happens. I mean, go through the highs and lows, the adrenaline and then the down of going through Quirk 2.0.
It's crazy. I mean, it's a roller coaster, and we feel like we're still going down, and there's no stop yet. With Quirk, Charlottesville, 4 years into making, part of my job is site selection for the Quirk brand. So came to Charlottesville, worked on with Johnny Pritzlaff, found the site. Awesome people to work with, by the way. Found the site, negotiated. We closed on the site. We started design. We started construction. We had thousands of meetings and calls, to get this right. It's different than what we did in Richmond. Richmond's a historic adaptive reuse. This is a new construction with the two houses that front Main Street that are historic, but the hotel is a new construction, and it's just really 4 years, and we get to the grand opening. There's a lot of hugs, a lot of attaboy, great job. This is fantastic. We have a lot of different investors. A lot of them showed up. The gallery, phenomenal showing on the art gallery, and then all of a sudden, a week and a half later, we're having to call myself, Ted Ukrop, Christian Kinnery, Ed Brown, the four folks who are making decisions, and we just sat there and said, we've got to make a decision. We got to get out in front of this, and we don't get we're not hired to make the easy decisions, and we sat there and we made the really, really gut-wrenching, tough decision that we were going to close down, and we wanted to make sure we protected our employees. It's a transient business. People are coming and going. You don't know, who's healthy, who's not healthy. No one knows, right? And you're trying to think in advance for them and help them and protect them, and then this happens. So. The positive side, we always try and look at the positive side, is that we get a second grand opening. So we're excited about doing that at some point.
There you go. Paul Cooper, our guest, a number of your colleagues in the association watching the broadcast as we speak. We're going to talk about the role for the association. You're chairman of the Shenandoah chapter. We're going to talk about the role of the association here. Before we do, how about just talk X's and O's with me, man? One entrepreneur to the other. I mean, You're talking about, you take a four-star hotel that's going to be one of the best hotels in the Commonwealth. You launch it in Charlottesville. The community is so pumped. You obviously have debt services on an entity like this. You stop operations in totality. What are the X's and O's there from a chief executive standpoint of how you do this? How do you keep the ball going straight here?
Yeah, so you look at it from a financial perspective, to your point, and you crunch the numbers like we did. We know what our holding costs are. We have a great relationship with Town Bank. Kevin Lang is our banker there, and he was one of the first calls.
Is he frozen? Hey, Paul, we got you here? Let's try reconnecting here and see if we can get Paul on the line here. Judah, I'm going to try to reach him back on. I want to get the information there. He's given good information. Paul, I'm going to reach out to you. If you're listening, we're going to reach out to you right now again. We're going to see if we can get Paul Cooper back on the line, the Chief Executive Officer of Retro Hospitality, talking Quirk Hotel. Yeah, we got you back, Paul. I got you. Can you get that camera? Okay, we're good. All right, so you were right in the middle of giving us the strategies of servicing the debt services, doing what's right for mankind, and managing a grand opening and keeping the ball going in the right direction.
Yeah, so Town Bank worked with us right away, so they deferred 90 days worth of debt service. We're on an interest-only loan right now, so that was great. But you look at your other costs, and we're looking at probably a 4-month suspension of operations between mid-March and the end of June, or beginning of June rather. And so financially probably a $2.5 million hit on the top line. We have several investors, so we had the conversations with them about capital calls, and everyone came together, ponied up. We wrote the checks, and we're going to keep it going. In the meantime, we've got the submittal in for the payroll protection plan, and that may help a little bit with getting the employees back to work, but by no means does it cover the losses that we're going to incur, and all of our brothers and sisters there in Charlottesville that own hotels. I mean, a lot of closings, and everyone's in the same boat. It's just unfortunate we opened a week and a half before this pandemic.
Give us the macro perspective here. We were talking about this with restaurants on the show. The holding company that owns the Olive Garden, its stock is skyrocketing because the street knows it has the economies of scale and the cash reserve to withstand this. And the holding company that owns the Olive Garden, a lot of investors are saying, could be one of the only options left when this pandemic is behind us, which is freaking nuts here. Same question from a hotel standpoint. Break it down from like a big guy, a big time brand, a global brand, to like a boutique standpoint. The boutique hotel is going to have the ability to pivot and make decisions on the move, which is a huge advantage. Compare and contrast the big brand with the boutique here.
So the big brands, for the most part, I mean, they've divested from real estate. I used to be in charge of franchise development for a brand many years ago, and so for the most part, they're individual franchisees. So they're all small business entrepreneurs for the most part. Now you have your big dogs that have 20, 40, 50, 100 different hotels, like the Apple REITs of the world here in Richmond and Remington Hotels and a bunch of them. So you've got some big players. But for the most part, they're getting guidance and support and forgiveness of fees from their franchise companies. And Hilton just stepped up this past week with Virginia Restaurant Lodging and Travel Association and American Hotel and Lodging Association and kicked in a good amount of money to help the restaurant and hotel employees. So they've got the bandwidth and they're gonna continue to move forward. For us small guys, it's it's a big blow. It's there's no other way to put it. It's right now it's try and salvage as much cash as you possibly have, and look to deploy that later. But the great thing about Quirk Charlottesville, even though we were only open for a short period of time, is our operations team out there does a phenomenal job. Our salespeople, Whitney Dang, is doing a phenomenal job. We've got a lot of business on the books for July, August, September, October. Now, if that holds and we're able to reopen, we'll be good. The group bookings, we've had so many great clients there in Charlottesville that are sticking with us. They're rescheduling. They're not canceling. So we'll still see that revenue. It's just going to be punted down the field a little bit longer.
Right. Paul, you got some comments coming in. This comment's coming in from Andre Xavier, owns a travel agency locally, Chief Executive Officer, CVille Halpon Tours. He has a lot of respect for you, he says. He says it's so sad. The Quirk will be an amazing addition to Charlottesville Hotel's scene. Hopefully they will come back and do a relaunch and have a fresh start. It will be amazing, and the community will be there to support the hotel. What is it going to look like when we do come back? If I'm just going to go from my standpoint, my wife's standpoint. We have to travel for work from time to time. When we're traveling from work, a lot of times we would stay in an Airbnb because it's approachable. We could find one. It was easy. Okay. Now the mindset of my wife, she's like, there's no way I'm going to go back to an Airbnb, at least in the short term, where I'm uncertain about the professional cleanliness of the facility itself. And she's going to be like, let's go the hotel game. When we come back, I think hotels potentially are going to take share away from Airbnb. I think that's safe to say. But your take, when we come back to normal, if there is a normal, what does it look like?
Well, I mean, God willing, we come back, there's certainly a lot of compression. People are going to want to get out, compression in the market. People are going to want to get out.
I agree.
In a smart way. And the way that I think Charlottesville and the state of Virginia is positioned is that, we're mostly a drive-in market. So, we'll have people from around the state. They may not, DC, Northern Virginia, Hampton Roads, Maryland, people who don't want to jump on a plane and they do want to get in the car, they want to get away. And I think, the boutique hotels are perfectly good positioned. The dairy market's going to be perfectly positioned because it's an experience. It's something that you can't get in a standard, box hotel. So they want to come, they want to feel like, they're being pampered, they're being, just they're having fun with their families. They're eating out again. They're maybe have a couple drinks. They're staying in a great room. They're getting great service, and that's what we're banking on. So hopefully, it comes back. It comes back strong as well as it possibly can, and people are smart about it. So we don't know. We don't know if it's going to be a slow, a gradual increase, or we're going to see this pent up demand, and everyone's back to wanting to live their lives again.
I think it's the pent up demand. And I'm a positive guy, and obviously a glass is half full guy. We have to be to do the kind of business and kind of work we do. But I think that there's going to be a pent-up demand, and we're going to see people come into restaurants and hotels and travel. And we had, like I said, Andre Xavier on the show, and he sees the market going when we're on the other side of COVID-19. He says travel is going to go to markets that have good outdoor options, that aren't super dense with people, and that are domestic. And I think a lot of the boutique hotels like yours are positioned for success there. Do you think Charlottesville, and we're getting this question left and right, people are enjoying the interview. A lot of folks were saying that Charlottesville was over-hoteled. Your thoughts on that topic? And then now when this is over here, your prediction on how many will close and not open again?
Yeah, I'll be a little tongue in cheek here. We hope no one else comes in, as there's enough hotels now. But there's going to be attrition. There's going to be folks who are just not able to make it back. The one thing that attracted myself and our team investors to Charlottesville is the sustained occupancy levels. It's a very, very strong market. Historically, at our level, it's in the 72% occupancy range. Rates are at a premium. There's some great properties out there. My friend Russ at the Boar's Head, Olivia Branch and her team over at Keswick with what they're doing, the Clifton. There's a lot of folks who are investing a lot of money in this market, and it's moving the food chain up a little bit. So rates follow. So we're still very, very bullish. We've got a great CVB. We've got great tourism folks, really, really talented people at the Chamber, Elizabeth and Courtney with the CVB and Elizabeth with the Chamber. So, we've got some really great people that are marketing Charlottesville. It's a great destination. What Chris Henry and the team are doing to build another destination, and we're a part of, it only enhances folks wanting to come to Charlottesville, get married, learn more about history, some phenomenal restaurants, great hotels. So I'm very positive Charlottesville is going to be fine.
Paul Cooper, our guest, questions for you. This question's coming across many of the 12 Facebook pages. This one in particular is from Roger Voisinay, who's come on the show. He's a realtor, he's an entrepreneur, he's an evangelist of Charlottesville. He says, Paul, did you or anyone on your team or anyone make an offer on the Landmark Hotel when it was auctioned off as a potential future boutique hotel in downtown Charlottesville? That's a good question.
That's a great question. No, we never made an offer for the Landmark Hotel. Phenomenal site. Very, very sad story of what's transpired there. Have followed it fairly close, but we never made an offer on that hotel.
What is and you don't have to go down this road if you want here. Dewberry's strategy is basically let the property get as ugly as potentially possible. See if you can get some tax credits from the municipality and then do some work. I mean, is that the strategy here?
I wish I knew. I wish I could pontificate on that. I think that what Dewberry has done. I haven't been to his property, but from what I understand, some of my team has down in Charleston. It's a phenomenal hotel. He's got a nice product that he puts out there. I don't know the end game. If the end game is to continue to hold out and hope that city council and someone provides a little bit more of a financial parachute for him or whatever, but He's getting left behind. And I mean, me personally, I don't have anything against Dewberry, or I don't know him at all. But I got to think if he ever moves forward with that hotel, Charlottesville is such a small community. It's a very supporting community. And I'd find it really, really difficult for folks in the Charlottesville area that know the story behind this that would patronize that hotel. There's too much bad blood. It just doesn't seem like, you can't mess with the customer, and Charlottesville is a very smart and educated consumer. I don't see how it even works.
That was one of the best takes, and I'm talking to the team here. That was one of the best takes I've heard on Dewberry and Dewberry Capital and the Landmark Hotel. I agree 1,000% with that statement right there. More questions coming in. You get a lot of people asking questions. I like that. This is from Ray Cadell. He says, I handle a lot of entertainment for the Omni Homestead, including their house musicians. They had just begun a $93 million renovation. They're closed, of course. All Omnis, I believe, he says. Are properties like that, Paul, too big to fail, or is this problem exponentially worse for the larger resorts?
I don't think in this environment there's anyone too big to fail in a hotel space. I think that it's definitely it's a more capital intensive operation, and so it's going to be a lot harder to come back from it, especially those big boxes that do a lot of events. But I wish them well. It's going to be an uphill battle.
Let's talk about the association. What's the association's role Commonwealth-wide and then regionally with each individual chapter?
So on VRLTA, Virginia Restaurant Lodging and Travel Association, which I'm on the board and the chapter president out in Shenandoah, it's primarily government affairs. It's a support structure for the hospitality industry to ensure that legislation is favorable to our employees, to our ownership, and that we continue to promote, Virginia tourism and the destinations. I guess is the best way I can put it in a very condensed way. Virginia Tourism is just a phenomenal group, very much marketing focused. So they're going to be launching a new marketing campaign. I think it's called "We'll Be Waiting for You" or something similar to that. Rita McClenny is a phenomenal, energetic leader. Eric Terry, president of Virginia Restaurant Lodging and Travel Association, he works with a great team. He's got Jim Wilson, who does a great job with workforce development. Robert Melvin on government affairs. We were down at the Capitol earlier in January, lobbying with the different General Assembly members and talking about what's important to our industry. So, it's a volunteer organization that is, looking out for the best interest of our employees.
You killed it, man. You killed it. Thank you for coming on the show, Paul. I'm truly grateful. I agree. We will do it in better times. Paul Cooper, Paul, I will reach out again. We're going to have Robert Radifera on the program in a couple of minutes. Paul, I 100% will reach out again. In fact, I'm Skyping you that right now. He was great. He was really good. He was really approachable and informative and laid back and knowledgeable. Can you imagine the decision of having a grand opening for the Quirk Hotel in Charlottesville, Virginia, and then shortly after the grand opening, you choose to close it permanently? Or not permanently, but you choose to close it indefinitely until COVID-19 passes and you can reopen again? I mean, think about that. The hard work, years of hard work to get to that point, and then you got to close for we don't know how long to open again? Paul, thank you. We'll reach out to you again, undoubtedly, to talk about this and just to talk Charlottesville. Robert Radifera, we're going to go to you in a matter of moments. John Kelly and Carla Shiflett and Keith Rosenfield, welcome to the program. Judah, before we get Robert Radifera on the line, and Robert, we're going to get you here shortly, I want to get a couple of headlines that I saw that was really watching me, that was really getting me thinking. Let's go with the first headline from CNBC that I sent you last, Judah. And let's get that on screen about the relief package. I think this is good news. This is a second relief package that's going out there. I just sent it to you via email. It's from CNBC. It should be atop your inbox. Get that one on screen if you could. I think that one is just extremely exciting. Okay, well, I'll summarize it. I'm extremely excited by this. Oh, my bad, Jude. I just sent it to you now. $2.3 million, $2.3 trillion relief package, guys. The money needs to get to the businesses now more than ever. We're spotlighting restaurants. We're spotlighting musicians. We're spotlighting travel. We're spotlighting hotels. The same common denominator is being set across the board. We are applying for the PPP, the Payroll Protection Program. We're applying for these relief efforts. We just haven't gotten the money yet. I think the pent-up demand is also there. I was having this conversation this morning. I think there's pent-up demand. Once we get back, whether it's a vaccine or we get word from Dr. Fauci or whoever it may be, and we get back to going out and the economy starts again, and we get back to going outside and being around people in a healthy setting, I think there's going to be pent-up demand there. I think we're going to see a spring market sometime in the fall or the summer. I think we're going to see travel happening again. School may be delayed, so maybe the travel happens at the end of the summer. Hotels will start getting busy. Restaurants will start getting busy. Bill Gates on CNBC this morning is saying that the economy is going to be potentially going back to normal or getting back active in May. So I think we're turning the corner here. I'm going to get Robert Radifera on the line, Judah. I'm Skyping him now, giving you a heads up about that. Robert Radifera is a local photographer. He's just a great guy. He's got a fabulous, positive project going on right now that I want to spotlight. I want to talk about the industry from a photographer standpoint, and I just want to see what's going on in his world. We're excited to have Robert on the program, and Robert, if you're watching, we're Skyping you now. He's got a project, and Judah, do you have the photos that we can put on screen? You do? Okay. He's got a project that we're going to talk about with Robert as well. We have him on screen, Judah, so we're going to go to Robert now. Robert, thank you kindly for joining us on the I Love CVille show. We just had Paul Cooper, hotel executive, who helped launch Cork here in Charlottesville.
Right. Yeah, he sounded great.
He's doing great. Now you're live. You're on screen. You are one of the best in the business, and I'm not just saying this tongue in cheek. I literally saw firsthand with my wife and I at our wedding. You are one of the best photographers in the business.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
First, what's new and how are you? How's the headspace right now?
So, it's been many weeks, as everybody knows. And, I think we're doing as good as everybody else is doing. We're managing with kids and figuring out what homeschooling's like, and doing Instacart is our new favorite thing, and just trying to get through all of this. The extra family time is great. But we are super grateful for all the people out there on the front lines, all of the medical professionals out there, the people that are working in the grocery stores, CVS's and Walgreens and all these places, and just being out there and making the world okay for us right now.
So you guys got Instacart to work?
So that's actually a very funny story. So it was probably 2 a.m. that I was able to put an order in. So and after that, it was like 6 days that they could make their delivery happen. But it was a joyous occasion when I got that email saying that it was coming. All the delivery services are crazy right now. It's days and days.
Well, we're grateful for you coming on the program. Let's talk about the project. We know you're a photographer. You have an unbelievable eye, an unbelievable skill. Let's talk about what's going on right now. What do you got going on?
So, well, it has stopped. It is the Front Steps project. It was inspired by a photographer in Massachusetts, and every photographer likes to they see sort of the world and what's happening, and what they want to do is they want to preserve history and sort of see what happens. And she kind of got this ball rolling, and I was super excited to make this happen. And I'm one of a handful of photographers that are doing this in town as well. But I just, I think I've photographed over 100.
I'm hearing no audio, Judah. Yeah, we're looking good. We're showing the pictures on screen. Judah's checking the audio there for us. Thank you, Stephanie, for letting us know. You know where I heard of it was through Bob Yarborough.
Bob and Stacy.
And
yes.
Redfields. And he is a fabulous writer. And he wrote something absolutely poignant, and he talked about how, like, I'll step out of the way. Talk to us about that story.
I mean, I remember Bob and Stacy are like some of my favorite people. Like when we were in Redfield, when we were living there, like they were just, I mean, the whole street was amazing. But always smiles on their faces. They were always walking the dogs. And those guys, I mean, you can tell that they were meant to be forever together. And when I saw them that day, something seemed a little off. I mean, obviously what's going on and everybody, but you know, when I watched them walk out the door, you could just feel that something was different. When I took their photos and they thanked me and we chatted for a little bit, and then I went on my way. And when I got their note back, which is, you can see what Bob had written for me, I literally broke down into tears. I was like, oh my goodness, this is legit. Like, this is real. Like, people are going through things, and it's not, you know, for me, it was good to go out and see people and sort of break up the monotony of their day, even if it's for 5 minutes. Just they have something else to do and look forward to. And I thought I was right. They were going through something. You feel it in every aspect. You know, when you thank the person that's checking you out at Wegmans, like you can see the gratitude in their eyes for you thanking them. And just sort of what they're going through to be out there. And the other day we were driving, it was actually when we were doing some of these portraits, I pulled up next to a police officer, just at a stoplight, rolled my window down, sort of honked my horn. He looked at me super confused, and I was like, I just wanted to thank you for being out there. And then he got the smile on his face. And, you know, it was, people have to understand sort of what's like the reality of what it is to be outside. Like, I feel like I'm going to war when I go outside. You get all suited up with your mask and your gloves, and you come back home, you strip down, you throw everything into the wash. And, you know, when the Instacart came, it sat in the other room for a while, and we wiped everything down, and then we have sort of a dirty section in the house and a clean section in the house. So, you know, it's a whole new world out there.
Dude, you are your positivity is radiating right now, and you have people commenting about that. How you keeping it like this? How you keeping this? I mean, you're smiling, you're feeling good. People are stressed. People are uncertain. People are scared.
It is. It's a very scary time. I am not one of those people. Like, I am worried for the future and sort of what's happening, and to come back from something like this, it's going to take a long time. Like, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I know that. But it's going to take a while. Like, the sort of economic destruction that is happening right now. Like, I'm out of work. Like, that's just the reality. I'm one of millions of people that are just out of work. And you do know. And what keeps me smiling? It's my family. It's my friends. It's you doing things like this. It's, you know, just knowing that us as a global community, like, we are all going through this together, and you see the good in everybody and everything, and you just sort of, you know, these are horrible times, but we will, at some point, we'll all come out of this, and hopefully better.
Well said. One of the things I've seen is you and your wife are raising two fabulous, intelligent, strong daughters.
Yes,
how are your two girls responding to this? They're missing school. I mean, heck, think about a senior in high school or a senior in college missing graduation. Okay. I mean, it's nuts. How are your girls responding to this?
So they are doing shockingly well. You know, thank goodness for FaceTime and Zoom and all the things that you should have invested in like a month ago.
Right.
Not that long ago. But, you know, we have projects in the house, and the schools are being fairly good about getting work to them. And, you know, we do a couple hours of work, and we are all eating insane amounts. Like we're cooking 3 meals, like big meals a day, which is a lot.
Dude, Robert, I don't know about you. There's such thing as like the freshman 15 when you go to college. I've done the COVID 19.
That's exactly right. And me, just add an extra 0 to that. The COVID 190. Like by the end of this, it's going to be outrageous. But yeah, it's they are doing very well. I will say. Every once in a while, they'll miss their friends and they'll miss their grandparents and their cousins. But with technology now, I mean, touch is important. Like you got to hug someone, you got to be able to see them, and but again, being able to see them on a screen or being able to talk to them, I think that is good. And I feel very lucky that we live in a town like Charlottesville, Virginia, because if you want to go out into nature, you can still go out into nature.
Oh.
And just even go for a walk and you see the trees. And I mean, these storms that we've been having every night that are around anywhere from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m, they're spectacular. Like you watch the whole neighborhood just light up and the trees are all lighting up and you can hear that rain, and just sort of makes you realize we're very tiny on this planet. And when these things sort of happen and go on, that's some of the beauty here also.
Oh.
So, I mean, to answer your question, they're doing okay. And I think it's us, the family time. We're eating 3 meals a day together, which is good. And just being able to see parents and grandparents and all the good stuff.
One of the best guys out there, guys, kind enough to join us on the I Love CVille show, Robert Radifera, just one of the best photographers that you can possibly book. Questions for you. This is coming from Andre Xavier.
Yes.
He's watching the show. Of course, he's the co-founder and CEO of CVille Hop On Tours. He's also the founder and owner of CVille Travel. He's actively involved in his businesses with travel, tourism, and weddings. And he has this question. Robert, from your standpoint, do you think folks will continue to spend premium amounts for weddings like they did before COVID-19?
You know, I actually think that they will, because doing this project, I will say that one of the things that is so important is about documenting what's happening at this moment. And one of the things that I say to my clients when we're in our interviewing process is that, of course, I am taking these photos for you, but I'm really taking them for future you. And I'm taking them for your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids. And I think that when you leave your wedding or any kind of event, you're leaving. The only thing you have to remember are obviously your memories and your photos. If the food was bad, you'll be upset that day, but you'll laugh about it, hopefully 20 years from that, you'll laugh about it. But if your photos are bad, then that sticks with you forever. So I think for generations to come, photography will always be, I mean, phones are pretty spectacular, but it's always good to have a professional there that has been studying this and doing this. So yes, I do believe.
I love it. Another question's coming from you, Robert. We look up to you as a photographer in this community. What advice can you offer me? I'm 6 months in as a photographer in Charlottesville, Virginia. That's tough time right there for this particular photographer.
You know what I've always told people who are trying to get into the business? Just make sure you take photos every single day. Show them to as many people as you can. Get critiques. You don't take it personally. It is your job. If this is what you want to do, if somebody says they don't like X, Y, and Z, then take it for that. Find the people that you do admire and look at their work, follow their work, even see if you can get an internship with them. I feel like right now there is no getting close to anybody. And it's a hard time to start any kind of business. But, you know, if this is your passion and your dream, just do it every day. That's sort of
amazing.
What I tell my
I love it. Why don't we close on this note here? And thank you so much for your time. Charlottesville's watching here. We learned so much about our community after August 12th, 2017. And we still have a long way to go as a community, but there were some positives that manifested themselves after A12. I hope similar positives manifest themselves after this struggle, albeit we don't know how long it's going to be. But I
Right.
think positives are going to come out of this as well. From one positive guy to another positive guy with a lot of positive people watching our conversation here. The show is yours. Anywhere you want to go about getting out of this as a community and what you're going to see or what you hope to see when we're done with it.
So I love Charlottesville. As your sign says, is everything is about you. It is an amazing community. I have been here close to 30 years now. And this is a town that pulls together. Like after all of the things that we have been through. And I know that we will get through this. And just like you said, it may not be anytime soon, but when it does, we will all be stronger. Stay close to the ones you love and just continue to support this community. And we are amazing community supporters, and everybody is doing their part out there. And I want to thank all of those people as well, because it's not just doing to your family, but it is amongst your community as well. So I thank our community for doing all the good that they're doing. And I thank you, Jerry, as well. And for you and your new, I guess not so new, little one anymore. It's probably, so thank you and your beautiful wife. I just, for all the good that everyone puts out there, it will come back. So thank you.
Dude, that was perfect. Robert Radifera, thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Robert Radifera, be safe, be healthy. Thank you very much for joining us. One of the great guys in life, Robert Radifera, so kind enough to join us here on the I Love CVille show. I'll close on this, and Judah, I want to get some screenshots up. Check the top of your inbox now for the one that I was supposed to send you before the show. I apologize about that. I'm just going to very quickly, for 2 minutes before we close the show, give you a couple of screenshots that I think you should be following of stories. Get the first one up from the Federal Reserve about the relief. This is a new relief package that's coming. And give me a thumbs up when that's on screen. Another $2.3 trillion in programs to help support the economy and small businesses and revenue-pinched governments. This is good news. Okay? This was announced this morning. Now, the Federal Reserve announced this $2.3 trillion relief program at the same time the jobless claims came out. Thank you, Judah. They're on screen. The jobless claims came out this morning at a record-breaking 6,600,000 new people on the unemployment line. You heard me correctly. 6,600,000 new people on the unemployment line in Charlottesville as of this morning. The previous number from a jobs claim was a little over 600,000 as the record. So previous record for people on the unemployment line, 600,000. This morning, it was 6.6 million. Think about that, okay? A lot of scary stuff out there. At the same time the jobless claims were released, the Federal Reserve said we're going to offer this relief package of $2.3 trillion. And it was done strategically because the Federal Reserve understood that the jobless claims numbers were going to be astronomically high, so they had to offer a glimmer of hope, which was this $2.3 trillion package. Another package, a new relief package announced today. I want you to concentrate on the hope and the positivity that's out there. There's going to be pent-up demand in the market. You heard Paul Cooper, the Chief Executive Officer of Retro Hospitality, say this at the beginning of the show. He's predicting some pent-up demand. I think that pent-up demand is going to mean in real estate, what was a spring market could be a summer or fall market. Okay? What may be in restaurants and retail, what may be a graduation window or a strong spring market in restaurants might now be a Q3 type of market. We just got to get there, and we're going to get there. And I think if we do get there, the community is going to be better than ever. True community and true character and true grit is not figured out in good times, in record-setting stock markets, or record-setting GDP, or small numbers in the jobless reports. Okay, true grit and character is determined in times like this. And I think Charlottesville's going to come out pretty strong. In fact, I know Charlottesville's going to come out really strong. Thank you to Paul Cooper for joining us on the show. Robert Radifera, you were amazing. Your hospitality and your positivity were inspiring to me. I hope they were to you. This is the I Love CVille show where we feature the best of Charlottesville, Virginia. And regardless of the situation outside, it's not going to shake me from a positive standpoint. It's not going to shake me from a confidence standpoint. And it's not going to shake me from a community standpoint and knowing what this community is all about. I promise you that. It's the I Love CVille show. We'll see you tomorrow, Friday morning. Ooh, tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow we'll have Keith Smith and Real Talk at 10:15 a.m. And then we'll do the I Love CVille show at 12:30 tomorrow. Take care, guys.